imagine what the effect this would have on those 17.8 million acres in all of that area where they begin to control all the flow of water and manage how you use your property, if you own property in that area, how you would use it. And they would tell you how you were going to use it and how you wouldn't if you don't participate in the process and what they wanted you to do and your incentive programs and the like. You could conceivably lose it. I know Shane will allude to this in a little bit because it was talked about in Little Rock, where when they designated an area, it said it was a watershed and you couldn't do certain things in it. The property value dropped from 25 to 70%. And I may be overstating some of that, but that was down in Pulaski County, and they had some resolution. But before we go to that, I'd like to ask Randy to say a few words if you wish. I know you, like me, are trying to catch up on this issue, and I tried to do a lot of reading the last few days. Tell us what you know, and what Brian brought to you, and then I think he brought you an ordinance or a proposition or something along those lines, and resolution, yeah, proposition too. But in any case, I know you guys voted in favor of it, and so you might want to read that and share with what you know.
Well, thank you, David. You just said everything I know right there. Actually, I recall in January when the announcement was announced about the White River Blueway, and I caught it on the news, probably like a lot of people may have, and just let it go right by. It wasn't a significant issue to me, and I never gave it another thought until last week before last. I was actually on vacation in Washington, D.C. with my family, and my cell phone went off, and it was Brian who called me and started talking to me about wanting to bring something before the Quorum Court, and how could he get on the agenda. And I said, basically, let me know what you've got, and I'll see what committee I need to run it through, and so that we can get you a seat to talk to the Quorum Court. And he started talking about this, and he could have just as easily be talking about landing a rover on Mars, and I would have been just as involved. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, probably you need to run that through the Finance and Administration, the Administration Part Committee, and let them listen to you. So I encouraged him to do that, and then a day or two later, I get a call from the county judge's office, and they said, we have decided to run this issue through Courts and Public Safety, which is the committee that I chair. And I said, that'll be fine. So when I got back off of vacation, I did what any good American ought to do, and that is you Google that, Janet. You Google it and you look it up. So I had to play catch up. And the first thing that I went through is I went through several of the websites. The Arkansas Game and Fish has some information on it on their website. The Arkansas Forestry Commission has some information on it. The U.S. Forestry Commission. And it caused me really to think about a couple of questions that I want to ask you. So, who here in this room is against having clean water? Well, who here is against baby ducks? Because that is what they would have you to believe that's what this is about. And sure, clean water is part of it, and sure, we all like to watch baby ducks, but that is not what this issue is. So then I started looking more into exactly what the involved in, and there's plenty of information on the internet that explains, and I actually had to back up, and I'm familiar with Agenda 21, but it kept making references to Agenda 21. And to me, just in a short version, this is like a tax on our Second Amendment. It is unlikely that they're just going to say, we can't own firearms anymore. But what they may do is tax us out of our firearms. They may tax us out of being able to buy ammunition. They may build it difficult to do it. And that was very similar to what I saw in this. So Brian came, did his presentation to the Courts and Public Safety Committee meeting earlier this week. And I was a little concerned about how that discussion would go, but I'm proud to tell you that the entire committee was very receptive to what Brian had to say. Several were somewhat familiar with what was going on. So at that point, what we did, Brian had a sample resolution, and I brought a copy of it here. And I have since turned the sample resolution over to the county attorney, and he is working, actually formulating a resolution that the Courts and Public Safety Committee, basically what we did was pass it so that Brian can do his presentation to the full court so that the full court can now review this and hopefully accept the resolution. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because a lot of it is background information, but here's the resolution part of it. Therefore, be it resolved that Faulkner County, State of Arkansas, A, Faulkner County will continue with present conservation practices as is mandated by laws that are consistent with the historic and balanced provisions of the Constitution of the State of Arkansas. B, Faulkner County calls on Governor Beebe to demand immediate withdrawal of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, the Arkansas National Heritage Commission, the Arkansas Waterways Association from participating in or support of the Whitewater Watershed National Blueway until such time as counties are properly consulted. Local governments have been bypassed at this point. We represent you guys, and we need to have some input and some say-so in this without an executive decree coming from the current administration.
You know,